Hello, my friends. I found this book when I was at the pharmacy today, and I was thrilled when I opened up the back to see that it's actually a Canadian author right here in Toronto. But what really impressed me was that this book is written about octogenarian witches and a millennial witch who comes to help them. At least that's the impression I'm getting. When I read the letter from the author when I got home, I absolutely fell in love with her wit and her charm and her frankness, and had to read you, although you can read it yourself by pausing and holding, but I had to read you her letter because if this is any indication of the writing style, I think I'm going to really enjoy this book. So, dear fabulous reader, I started writing The Witches of Moonshine Manor back in January of 2021 when Toronto was cold and dark, and we were in the midst of yet another pandemic lockdown. But despite how bleak the world felt, spending time with the Moonshine Manor sisterhood was like holding my hand up to a roaring fire, the lovely, crackling kind that warms every inch of you, your soul included, as opposed to the dumpster kind that sometimes mirrors the state of the world. The fever dream 6 months in took me to write the novel felt like a vacation. That is, if you have a penchant for taking vacations at retirement villages surrounded by cranky, horny, irreverent old women who heckle you constantly to get back to work, missy. The book's not going to write itself. Most people I know, women especially, are horrified at the thought of getting older. But I'm a Capricorn, and we're apparently born ancient, getting close to our true age every year. So I can't wait for my 70s and 80s. It's the only reason I eat revolting kale and do my 10,000 steps a day, because I want to be around then, not just for the senior discounts, but for the epic moment when the bras come off and the moo-moos come out. Girl, I'm in my 50s and I've already done that. I speak to a ton of book clubs, many of which are made up of retired women, and what I delight in is how few F's they have left to give. If they don't like a plot twist in one of my books, they'll yell, "What the hell did you do that for?" And then because they think they're muted, they'll yell it again, only louder. And while instructing their husbands to get off their lazy asses and pour them a damn drink. My favorite part of any Zoom session with them is the first 15 minutes where they don't give a shit that a famous author, hey, this is my author letter and I can elevate my status however I want, is sitting there waiting for the discussion to begin. That's when they chat about how CBD oil is likely to clear up Iris's boob rash, or when Stephanie can cha-cha again after her hip replacement, or when Lewis can hide her husband's Viagra this time around. What occurs to me is that they're all grown up, identifying with some awesome character or another at various stages of our lives. I was first a Christy in the Babysitters Club, and then a Miranda in Sex and the City, and then a Dorothy in the Golden Girls. But then media and literature mostly stopped showing me what else I could be after my mid-50s. Like women stopped existing after a certain age. Like we don't have so much to look forward to. While, as Jezebel will tell you, is utter bullshit, especially if you, like me, have big plans to age as disgracefully as you possibly can. The great news is that you won't be on the journey alone. As women, we've been looking out for each other since we were little girls. In our 20s and 30s, our friends became our family, getting us through our worst breakups and career disappointments. They also likely held our hair back for when a few too many of those tequila shots did U-turns, making mad dashes for freedom. Sisterhood is one of the greatest gifts we can give one another at any stage of life. And this book is a celebration of that. Hashtag aging goals, hashtag I love this one, aging disgracefully, hashtag sisterhood goals, hashtag bad bitches. And if we can all support and encourage each other while simultaneously bringing down the patriarchy, then why not? It's all in a day's work, just another item to tick off that never-ending to-do list. I hope that you love the sisterhood as much as I do, and that they give you something to look forward to as you keep on kicking ass and taking names, growing into your power as you age. I'm not saying that witches are likely to hex you if you don't love them, but I'm also not making any promises that they'll behave. More importantly, I really hope that you have an Ivy, Priscilla, Jezebel, Ruby, Tabitha, and Queenie in your life, and that you see yourself in at least one of these amazing women. May you also know a Persephone who gives you hope for the next generation of women who will be raised to be just as badass as you. And may you fight for the Rubies of the world who need our support and allyship. Warm witchy regards, Bianca. So I'm loving your style, and I really love at the top of the book how it says, why were we taught to fear witches and not the men who burnt them? I think that's an extremely valid comment. So if you've also seen this book and picked it up, I'd love to know your thoughts on it. I'm looking forward to reading it. I think it's going to be awesome. Till next time, bye bitches. I mean, witches.